Hi, welcome to this video. This is going to be a quick and simple explanation for how two parts of a molecule or parts of two molecules can display coevolution and what that means. Before talking about molecules and considering different sequences, consider simply two die, a yellow and a green die or dice. Each contains different identities or numbers with a different probability for each. In the case of each die, it is a 1 in 6 chance of any of the numbers. These could represent two parts of a molecule or part of two different molecules, a yellow and a green molecule in this case. Over the course of many years and over the course of evolution of these molecules in many different sequences, they might change. If there is no connection between the molecules, the identity of each will change independently of the other and simply depends on the roll of the dice in each case. Depend on the probability of either number occurring for either die. Let's do just a few more here. So you can see we have a range of different combinations. In fact, we can calculate very easily the chances of any particular pair, since there's a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 1 for the yellow die, 1 in 4 chance of rolling a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 4 for the green die. You can calculate the probability of this particular pair is 1 out of 36. Now let's consider two parts of a molecule that have some sort of physical interaction. Here, the probability of obtaining the number on one die is actually going to depend on the probability or the identity of the other die, because there is a physical interaction constraining the probabilities or the evolution of either molecule. Here we have a blue or a red molecule. So let's see what kind of combinations we get now. This is a 6 and a 3. A 4 and a 1. Another 4 and a 1. Again, the probability of any one number appearing is roughly 1 out of 6, a little bit skewed because for the fact that the die do not roll evenly when they're taped up and contain these paper clips. But let's see what other combinations I can have here. This is now a 3 and a 6. There are still a number of different possibilities. And for example, if we were to look at these on end, the red in this case is a 2 and the blue is a 5. Looked at the other way, we'd have blue being a 2 and red being a 5. Now, that was the case of probabilities that depended on one another. What does this have to do with coevolution? And how can this idea help us spot coevolution in molecules? Well, except in some cases where it's been known from experiments, we cannot determine what kind of interactions there are between molecules. However, we can look at what sequences occur thanks to evolution. Just like without rolling the dice, I could simply show you the results of rolling the dice, here the yellow and the green ones, which were unconnected. There shouldn't be a even distribution of the probability. Like we said, any particular pair should be 1 out of 36 times, should be the chances. And there shouldn't be any obvious patterns or connections. Now, if we looked at the results, for the connected die, we should start to see some patterns emerge. Some pairs are going to occur more frequently than others. For example, red being 1 and blue being 4 this is going to occur more than 1 out of every 36 times. In fact, we're never going to have red 1 and blue a number other than 4, thanks to the fact that these are connected. So by analyzing probabilities like this, I would have not even need to show you this dice, these two dice. You would have been able to assume that these two probabilities were not independent of one another, and that there might be some connection. Of course, there's some statistical measures that would need to be used to determine this, but this is how coevolution works in a nutshell.